Hello then folks, welcome back. I'm Pxy-STREAM, and yes, back to the stuff that we are doing here in this experimental rigging. And okay, half experimental, because in one hand I have tested stuff here already and they work. I'm also taking reference from other riggers, other structures, other methods, approach, and on another hand there are things indeed that I've been experimenting. So last time I will have to talk more about fan bones. It's a method, and actually it's hardly comprehensible from my perspective how a technique from 2005 that has so much power, it's very clever regarding the countering the horrid artifacts of skinning algorithm in a quite analytical way. How a method from that time, a clever method, so clever method actually, is so unspoken today, the era of shared information. I don't know. Okay, so it doesn't make sense to me, because many riggers occasionally they know about this technique, but looks like very few talk about. So here I have a fan bone, but it's the simplest fan bone. That means, and I was attempting to build the rig. So I faced a serious trouble regarding implementing a simple fan bone technique in my rig, then trying to complement it with additional, let's say like this, profile bendy bone spline to the leg. So that means that, is that, hold on, yes it is, now it's a deformed bone. Okay, so you see this is why it's called a profile, because it can control the profile, like the contour, the in a certain point of view. And what is the problem of doing that? Well, because this bone, it will take waves. This is not a corrective method as the fan bone, this one, because this corrective method of the fan bone is more analytical to the artifacts, while this, it's not really analytical in the same sense. It's more something to resolve the shape, and not countering the artifact in a more visual, intuitive way, while this is very precise. So if we take off this, we will be aware that, check the motion of the fan bone that was in this purplish color. It is basically what it does, it derotates, it rotates in nearly the same amount as the thigh bone, but in it lags behind gradually, slowly, right? About 15, 10 degrees. It varies, it depends on the bone constraint that we'll do on it. So you see it's wave paint, it's more on the joint, so it derotates the mesh of the joint, while, so it indeed it takes waves from the thigh. But the cool thing, this is already quite clever, is that because it uses the same waves and it rotates, in principle, by default it will rotate without the bone constraint, it will rotate simultaneously. These will be stacking waves. So this does nothing. It's like you have two bones sharing exactly the same way, moving exactly the same way. Well, that's as this bone didn't exist, although yeah, it's still, because they are changing the ratios beyond the thigh, there's other bones there, but If it were just the vertices of the thigh bone that were shared, and they are moving together, is like, it's, yeah, they are shared waves, blended waves, but it's the same motions, so they cannot go, it won't do nothing, right? It's not gonna double the motion, because the ratio needs to always be under one value. So it's like, it's the same of the same of the same. It doesn't matter how many bones are sharing waves, exactly the same verse, even if the wave paint of each one individual is the same, it's different colors, it's the same, exactly the same vertices, exactly the same transforms for the bones. So it does nothing, right? Immediately we won't do nothing to the rig. So, but by having this with slight rotation, then it derotates part of the mesh. However, the technique is much more than that, and this is what I wasn't aware of. So apparently the guy that made this method, it was on a documentation, on a presentation. I didn't even, yeah, I knew Blender by that time, 2005, but I was on 2D animation, so it was not anything of my experience to, and I'm surprised how at that time someone came up with that solution. So the fan bone. So, and a guy named Sean Freeman, I think it's an Australian animator, teacher, professor, and apparently also a rigger. So it's, I don't find nearly any information, and this is also strikingly shocking, because he deserved like a prize for this method. So maybe it's a method that is only used on for some very how to say, group of people, professionals, enterprise. Maybe it's, but I don't think it's a secret. Many people, many riggers I've met, I talk sometimes, they've heard about that, they followed the method, or partially. It's not, especially older riggers, people that have been rigging for 10 years, 6 years from now, but, and have been researching. So Sean Freeman, yes, he made the fan bone, and I can't find, it's very hard to find documentation. There is it was built on apparently Animation Master, yeah, as a 3D software. Strange name for a 3D software, but Animation Master. I think it's old school animation software. Maybe it's not very popular now today, just as Maya, as Blender, and other stuff. So I'm not sure. I'm not familiar with the old school rigging stuff. But the fact is, the technique works, and something that I didn't know about it, and by experimenting, I've ended up understanding the other aspect of the fan bone that was beyond my even conceiving. So I didn't so there are two types of fan bone techniques. So this one is the simplest one. The whole method is probably it includes this one, and it goes forward further. But this the other one would be, so the problem that I found is that as I try to make these complementary deformed bones, they will take off waves, they will change the ratios for the deforms, the corrective analytical deforms of this bone. This means that as I try to create additional bones like this, they will recause the artifacts. Like, oh, I'm creating this deformed bone so that I can build mesh deforms on top of this corrective. No, it doesn't work. This is a trap, folks, because what happens is that because this is now a deformed bone with waves, it doesn't matter the amount of waves. Of course, if it's less waves, it's less critical, but it will have less influence, so you'll have to move it a lot in order to start having visual effect on the mesh, consistent effect. And the idea of the profile bony bone splines is that we shouldn't be able to move them a lot. So this is contradictory to the purpose of this, although yes, extra bones can help, but then by taking these waves off from this, I mean, it's blended waves, it's not like we are taking off waves, but in some sense, yes, we are reducing this power of the analytical corrective fan bone here, and that's what happens. So we cannot build bones, deformed bones, on top of this. So I'd rather not have this, yeah, because then it corrects, but then I need extra bones to move. But if I get this bone, it is like, it's global, like it affects everything, because its wave paint is like that. So I don't have precision regarding different parts of the mesh. However, and then comes, that was my insight yesterday as I was trying to build this on top of that. Okay, but so I don't want to destroy what this bone is doing and make interfere, so we cannot have this bone. This is destructive if this is a deformed bone also. Thus, yes, I could try to reduce the waves a lot, and so less waves would be taken from that is true. The ratios would be, so we could do that and expect to have, yeah, how, maybe I can prove that. And so I would have to push this, so this could work as a strategy. It's dirty, but it's technically, it makes sense. So I'm gonna make that before I go to the next topic, just to see what will happen. So here I think I'm gonna use an algorithm, an operator. It's not smooth. I want to limit the forms associated with the vertex to I want to reduce the waves, not by hand, but okay, maybe it's the smooth rate. So let's do the smooth thing, and here let's give a stronger factor. Is there a negative factor? No. Okay, it's just active group. So smooth, yes. Iterations cannot go negative rate. So, and expand, contract. So we want to, I want to contract a lot, and I want to get, yeah, and factor, oh, factor, yes, good. So a lot of factor, more iterations, no, that, so that, okay, maybe this is, let's see on motion here. This seems to be adequate. Okay, I've already validated, unfortunately, but this is more likely what I would like, but I think, let's check. So if I were to change these bones now, their position, let's get a pose here, a pose that is that creates interpenetrations like this one. So I get this, and you see I cannot, oh, it's not a, is it the deformed bone? No, it's not a deformed bone. Okay, let's enable it as a deformed bone. Now let's, apparently nothing happened, but there you go. So I can, they do not interfere so much with the fan bone, and we can have excessive deforms, corrective deforms, if we are able to survive this madness here. Like you see, I can do whatever I want, but it takes a lot, and then I get those shapes that are, they are very annoying, right? But it gets the job done, right? So another solution not to interfere, of course, would be from this point, like instead of having this armature stuff, I'll have the bony bone spline. I would have corrective shape keys, but the corrective shape keys would come on top of this, right? Or maybe before it. I'm not sure how this is calculated, but yeah, it will not interfere with the ratios, because shape keys are from another dimension of shape keys are transforms. They are not, they did not use the skinning algorithm. They use other means of yeah, word space calculation, whatever. It's different stuff. So this is deforms for the mesh, and shape keys would be transforms for the mesh, transforms for the vertices. And so the problem, besides what I'm showing here, well, there are more problems. So one problem is that, yes, I'm still taking waves from that, and I have to make all this work in order to start having the deforms that I want, and so it will become, but I have the spline, so it's like quite easy to smooth out the shapes. This is kind of cool, but it's really annoying, right? But I can push, I can, and with all this offsetting, it might be difficult to map this stuff, right? And but I'm still taking waves from this, right? So this is not good. Furthermore, if I have more of these splines, I will, yes, okay, assuming that this spline only takes the mesh of that part, the inner part, and in very small amounts, I can even reduce the amount here. So for example, I can use a smooth here, and so this will make that, oops, let's try this instead. So here I'm taking a lot of waves from the so here we don't want all that. Let's go back bending, this should help. So here also too much waves here, and here. So there'll be the case to use another of those smooth operator. But okay, let's assume that I have this. Then what happens now is that I need this to become a deformed bone again. It's probably I'm getting less artifacts due to this, because this is working better now. It retains its functionality, and by this moving I can still influence the mesh in a very smooth way, but I have to do even more effort because the waves are the ratios are very unfavorable for this bendy bone, deformed bone in this case. And so, okay, but this kind of works, and then I must be careful. I cannot make like a lot of these bones taking waves again from the same area, because little by little it will end up taking off way more waves, as if it were more waves, because if it's 0.1, it is not. The waves are less than 0.1, I believe. Let's check. Let's make... I don't know how to select. What about now? Yeah. I'm not sure how to use this. Where has gone the operator? I need to... Yeah, I don't know how to... Okay, shift will lead to... Yeah. I don't know how you select how I know the wave of the vertex on wave paint mode in Blender 4.0. Isn't there? Oh, there is a sample waves. Shift X. Oh, there we go. Sorry folks. Shift X, right? Shift, there we go. So yeah, 0.1, right? So this is a lot actually. So if I take 0.1, this is nearly 0.2, right? So imagine if I take 0.1, then again from a new deformed bone affecting the same vertex, again 0.1, then another 0. I end up with 0.3, meaning that even if this bone was red, it will have 3 bones competing on a 0.1 waves for each. So that means each one of them will take, I assume, each one will take 0.1, so this will be, instead of being 0.9 on the vertex, it will be 0.7 on the vertex, and each other bone will take 0.1, so it's triple redistribution. I think this is not wrong, but maybe I'm making the wrong assessment here. But yes, I'm assuming more bones sharing waves will end up being more disastrous unless I reduce even more the waves of each one, right? And then this will mean that they'll have to travel even more to get some results. So I cannot, the least deformed bones I can have when blended waves from this critical region of the joint, the best this fan bone will work. So I have the problem. I found out, so we can solve the rig with this that I'm showing, because then I could even have as my original one here. You see there are 4, each of them, yeah, they're sharing waves. It's easier to, okay, we see here. So it's a mess. Let's try to simplify that. All right, so imagine that, so their waves are sort of blending, so it's not, it could be improved. Wait, I need to get this, and also let's get screencast here, and let's okay, So they are sharing waves in some interface region, right? As they, you see this and this behind, yeah. So yeah, a lot of blended waves there. So it's okay, but for this to work with that fan bone, for this strategy to work, they would need to have much less influence, and the least they share waves, the best. So we must be more careful. When I did this rig, I wasn't aware of this very well, as I am right now, and so this means that these waves are probably causing bad affection, are affecting badly the why this, can't I bring this up? No. Okay, so it is affecting the, okay, so the deform, the control, okay, here we go, and the neo, right? So it is affecting too much this, and so this might be one reason why I was struggling more than perhaps I would need to when I was trying to make the deforms, because then as I was satisfying with the idea that I could reshape those, all the region around the joint, the buttocks, the even, yeah, whatever, all this part, all the surrounding in different parts. At the same time, I was taking off waves from the ratio. I was killing the original functionality of this bone. So as I was trying to get better shapes, I was getting worse shapes because of the let's say, the desuppression of the generated artifact here. So I was trying to fix something, but at the same time I had already caused, because of ratio change, I made this bone to be less efficient, less effective. And so that means that I would have to fix the artifacts by moving these other bones around. And I wasn't even very aware that I was causing the artifacts to reappear naturally by this desuppression due to a change of waves, wave painting ratios. So this is extremely dangerous and extremely pathetic, but this is a hard problem. This is difficult, folks. It's complicated, right? So I've just realized this in this level of, let's say, awareness now. So I could use those bones, right? This is nearly the same idea that I have here, right? So, but I would do it much less blended waves. Maybe really just take the waves from the front, just take the waves from the inner part, just take waves from the, with very low blended waves with their neighbors, and also very important, very low waves, just as I have here. So something about 0.1 maximum it can have, otherwise it's not good, right? So just as we have for, where it is, new, oh, there it is, so offset that I didn't find it. So yes, and why its starting position is like that? Oh, I see why. Okay, so, and of course these also need automation, and automation to this distance is really, it's really annoying to do. So at least there is some logic, because you see they need to reshape the thigh, and there is this, yeah, at least they keep some circular, some, but it's not very interesting, right? So the way we could, okay, so if I had a bottom spline there, yeah, I could shape that part very well, and with less blended weights I will secure that the effectiveness of this bone will still be good. Another thing that I'm forgetting is that by taking off weights from the ratios of this, I'm also taking weights from the ratios of this. So it's not like, and this is the rotating. I'm not sure yeah, it is dangerous also because this will mean that this area will have less influence to rotate as the rest of the thigh mesh, which doesn't have influence from that, neither from that. So, but at the same time it takes the strength of the derotation on the joint area. So yeah, it might cause some it might, so it does double things, right? But it's just a detail. It's important to take into account. Provided the shape is good, is easy to solve. It's never easy to solve, but provided not, it doesn't become a nightmare. See, it's like it's perhaps is getting too much of a bad curve here, and probably this is because, yeah, maybe this is influencing that part just because of the ratios. So if I resetted this, let's see the ratios, what they do. Yeah, very slightly. So anyways, but now they are, yeah. So this is a strategy that I think works to be on the menu. We use one simple fan bone like this, and then we can play out. And at this point that I found that, I see no reason to have, maybe I could have two splines, because here I have a problem. Yeah, maybe I want to push that down. So I want to try one thing that is a bit crazy. Let's, I'm gonna, no, I'm not gonna write it because, okay, so here we want I want the normal, and I want them to be around the, yeah, very close to the beginning. Okay, those are mapper bones. I'm not using them for nothing. But now maybe if this works, how would I explain this? I cannot, if I wanted to use this and not to have them offsetting too much, I would need to, okay, no, this is not I cannot explain what I want because there is another further thing that will become an experiment, which is about the complete fan bone system that I've investigated. So from that guy, the genius apparently, perhaps on the most clever riggers that ever was or that ever is, because in 2005 he made the fan bone rig setup, and not just that one, which is already, but also a system that I'm not exactly sure how it works. But what I intend to do here, I intend to make imagine that this is not a fan bone, right? Or imagine that it doesn't exist, right? If I get a bendy bone spline, just as I have here, a set of helper bones, just as I had there, right? So in the older, in this one, right? If I had the whole set there, and they do the rotation, because there will be plenty of deformed bones, bendy bones as deformed bones, right? And they rotate just as this one is rotating. All the structure rotates, so it derotates the thigh. All right. So this means that this, hypothetically, the functionality of this bone has been redistributed, so this dies off. Maybe it maintains as a structural bone, just as a target, a mechanism bone, right? And then these bones will build up in their individual ways with inner thigh, hips thigh joint, back thigh joint, side, outer thigh joint, upper thigh joint, okay, right, for bendy bone spline. And so these splines, which can cause the, if they rotate, because they are they're bendy bones that deform bone, if this stuff rotate just like this bone rotates, right? Let me try to reproduce this. So the pivot point, let's pick that, and let's pick that. Okay, so if they follow this rotation, this would cause horrid artifacts, even though this is spline skinning. This kind of rotation is not on the, this is something that is confusing for me, but spline skinning can cause regular artifacts of rotation if we make rotations that relate to the base, or which is not the same as rotating the, it's not this rotation, folks. It's the rotation of the base of the bendy bone. It's so confusing. I still don't know, folks. But so this means that if I have this whole structure rotating along this, right, just as if they were the set, the deformed bendy bones on the set, they take the functionality of the corrected deform, and from that I just need this as a mechanism, and then these splines, they are free to move on top of the fact that they are already taking more waves, because they are already rotating just like this, so not just like this, but just like this. So this means they are not competing with this, because they are this. They are the fan bone. I'm proposing a variation of the technique. Instead of having many deformed bones that will be something like that, the structure of the fan bone, it's more like a star thing, maybe on all directions. I never understand what that was about. So now I think I understood what it is about. So this is why I was just using this and making other stuff. So actually this working as a mechanism bone. So let's try that. The problem, and this is what I'm going to try a fancy move here, is that even if those bones have stronger influence, if they have stronger influence, they won't offset too much, and they can still operate as profile bendy bone splines, more like the best quality of profile bendy bone splines. I mean, the mesh, they don't get offset too much from the mesh, or vice versa. That is logical. So, but I still want to test out something here. So remember, I have these mapper bones. I'll have to try to use this. Okay, let's try something here. Let's maybe set this, this. You see they are very close, because this represents more or less the back part of the mesh. There is a functionality, because I cannot just, if I move this bone, I'm already to meet a certain position in space. I'm already making change to the transforms. However, there is one thing that is not very talked about. It's a where it is? No, it's bone properties, custom shapes. Where's viewport display, custom shapes. Okay, let's give it. This seems to be disabled, right? So let's get for this bone custom shape. Let's say it will be empty cube. Okay, that, let's give that. So this, okay, let's keep like that. It's this override transform. So what it does, bone that defines the display transform of this custom shape. So this is not the bone, this is the custom shape of the bone. Yeah, the bone is here. Technically it's the bone, but it's the bone with a custom shape. And then I can set a target that will override so what I've done is that I've just displaced the bone, but the bendy bone doesn't follow. Yeah, so it will stay bizarre, so it doesn't solve, but indeed it actually this doesn't move the the curious thing. So yeah, so I can move the bone here, but it stays in place. This is not very good. I cannot have a, yeah, this will be useless. I cannot transform a bendy bone into a set of cubes, right? It won't become a set of cubes. It will be yeah, what about, let's try this. Yeah, I lose the bendy bone visualization, so no, the technique doesn't work. It doesn't interact with the bendy bone feature, so unfortunately there is nothing to do about this, although the fact that it stays there, you see the bone is not moving. This bone, and if it were moving for real, it would be displacing the, so the bone is actually here, the handle, so let's delete that. Yeah, so unfortunately that idea doesn't work. So I can, apparently there is no way to move a bone in the case of the bendy bone, there's no way to move it and retain its shape that it will maintain its original positions. Because why I'm thinking about that, it's a bit complicated, because as I rotate, as I derotate, imagine now that the set here, wait, it is parented? Wait, it is rotating together. Oh, I've parented it wrongly, so hold on. They actually need to be parented to this. Wrong parenting, folks. Hold on. So now they are, yeah. So they rotate not with the type, they rotate with the, with this one. So let's, okay, let's change the color of this, because this will become a mechanism bone. think that this is the color that I use for mechanism. All right, and this will become the actual fan bone, but in the shape of with the structure of bendy bone splines. So now, because this is not a deformed bone and this is a deformed bone, of course it is missing some waves. I need more, need the full entourage. So it is taking, let's see if this is true. Yes, it is sort of taking but the waves are too low, and I need to, you see, this is bad waves now, because it doesn't compete anymore with the other, with which was the deformed fan bone. So what I need to do here is to this is difficult to wave paint that. Well, I have that position. Okay, so I can also get some, let's get some stuff here that should help. Yes, let's make some loop cuts, not loop cuts, loop selections there, whatever. I think this is a good one, so good selection. Now to wave paint. Okay, we don't need this. It can serve as a reference. I'm not gonna delete the wave paint here now, because maybe I want this for another experiment, but so we need to augment on this protection mask. Let's Control F. Now I can take as much wave that I want, because this is a corrective. Now this is the fan bone, a lateral fan bone, and of course I'm gonna change that again, right folks, because I'm gonna build the other ones, right? So here we go. I was talking about shared waves that we don't want, but in this case we'll start with everything shared. You see the back doesn't really, the back is another story, because it's the buttocks leverage. It's already working, but maybe we need, this is why perhaps we would like for the original rig of the original rig of the fan bone system. It looked like that's why they call fan bone. I think there are two concepts, two possibilities. I already mentioned that. One is the fan bone, because it is like a oriental fan that opens like here, right? You see, it starts to open up with the delayed rotation, the derotation, right? So this is already a fan, one type of fan, and in my language, which is Portuguese, we have the two names, right? It's popular, like so it will be equivalent to a ventilator, the fan, the machine, right? And the fan, the like that I first mentioned. So this is the fan, the oriental fan, and the other will be the machine fan. So it will be sort of, imagine this thing, but as bones pointing outwards. So it was probably they are parented to this one, or bone constrained to this one. I'm not sure, but they were 8 probably these are the deformed bones. Maybe this is also a deformed bone, I don't know. It just occurred to me that this can be a mechanism bone. So and I'm not using this because I don't know how to use that, but I'm using something that would be similar, which is be a profile bendy bone spline. So basically I'm making all the fan instead of, and these are not even fan bones, these are just map bones that whose purpose, which purpose was nothing to do with all that. So they are, even here they are in the way, so I've realized I cannot apparently use them here for nothing, so I'm gonna just push them to there. I don't know if they're gonna be useful in the future, but yeah, let's leave it them here. Let's go back, and so I need to start building this. And now as we check, because this is a deformed bone, this already is doing, so if I turn this off, it's not good enough yet. You see the artifacts start to build that volume loss in that typical horrid way. We don't see very well, but as I turn it on, the deformed property of the bendy bone, it already counters. Yeah, it's clearly doing its job, but for some reason this is not too bad already. But this is of course because of the rest position. Oops, no, let's not lose this selection. And perhaps because of the action of the crotch bone altogether with the buttocks bone and the belly bone. These are these ones are leverage bones, so actually I could call leverage belly, and this is leverage belly, this is leverage buttocks, and this is not exactly leverage crotch, although yeah. So here I have a little problem here, because the intention here was so that we could have an automation, but it's being pushed down from the rest position. Well, not well, maybe that's because I need to yeah, no, I've changed so much. This is something I'm still researching, so it has two copy location. We could originally, there's a tutorial that use, but the problem I don't like, we can use the armature modifier. It works fine, maybe it's a good idea. The problem is that if we do that, we need to unparent, and I'm not, that's okay, but we add target, and then target the armature. Yes, target the armature, and then we need to use the same target. Yeah, since I'm preserved volume, let's skip that. Then I need just get me this target. Wait. Okay, and okay. So it's also causing some rotation, so we don't have how to yeah, this rotation, no, this rotation is dangerous. It's a lot of rotation. Let's see, it starts from, let's go, this is the beginning. Why it is rotated like that already? Oh, because this is not the the rest position is already here, so this is already quite okay. So this should be the more or less the original position. You see already has rotation on one direction, so imagine this position, right? Then okay, you see it's a 90-degree rotation, and there it's also nearly a 90 degrees. 40, it's too much rotation. This is probably dangerous. So yeah, this it rotates more behind, because behind the leg has this orientation. It's not like here, it's like here, and it's not straight, so it's not like it's symmetric, right? The amount of rotation, so it needs to rotate much more backwards to reach, even though in the animation yeah, so the front bending is more than the back bending, but yeah, there's a lot. So why? Oh, maybe it's because of that. Let's try this. No, well, that, no, still not. So maybe we just need, yeah, but then it's nearly nothing. Oh, they work together, right? So it's in synergy. So it's, yeah, so you can really have a very strange rotation in that. So maybe I'm missing something, but in principle it was just that. And so here I just have the location, but it's not. The problem is that it is when both legs are down, it like pushes the crotch downwards. So because of the way I've done it, there should be another way that I just can't figure out. I know I can correct this though, but it will be a bit complicated, a bit fancy thing. It will be like, let's say, give a transformation. It's like I'll give a static thing, so it's kind of crazy. Oh, armature. Okay. No, this is wrong. So target. Okay, here. No, this is not that. So local space, and then let's imagine map from the yeah, okay, let's do that. Map from location. Let's leave it like that. I don't think that, no, this won't work, but location, just let's give a, it's not the x-axis, so we do nothing here, but already from that we'll have a z-axis natural that means it will always have a correction the bone could be even the spine bone, doesn't matter. It just like it's it's cheat, like it's and if I turn this off, so it is just moving the bone up, whatever. So it's like maybe it's moving up too much. So whatever I do, the bone is already moving up on pose mode. So it's like Of course, maybe it's too much. So this is Z, positive Z. Yeah, so it's always up. So this is like the basal thing, and so whatever the other bones do on location doesn't matter. So I can, or does it? Oh, I've unparented. Hold on. Okay. So it doesn't affect. It's just a. So maybe it's just too much. So we just. It's like an automated, a permanent switch. Like. So this means that I can even augment the amount of influence that I've made to the. So I could perhaps augment there. Yeah, this is. I wanted this to be very slight, so I could. Yeah, now let's keep that, but then we can perhaps augment the influence here. 0.2 and 0.2, and so. Yeah, so this gives more stability to the crotch. It doesn't have to follow the tail, right, or whatever. It's not the tail, what I could do, however, if I do this and I do this, probably I can just reduce this to, can we do that? 0.01, and so this is more stable. 0.01, yes. And yeah, maybe we can 0.03. Okay, anyways, whatever we do here, we need to be aware of the interaction. I want the simplest thing, so we can. Yeah, we could, for example, just leave it like that. Okay, doesn't matter. So it follows the tail of the thigh bones. So this is gross. But oh, it's not following. What's happening? Something is wrong. Did I got the wrong target? Influence maximum. Oh, there is the bone. Why it is not responding to the other? It's like it is left head. They are not stacking. What? It looks like they. Oh, maybe they are competing, but strange because of location. Maybe. Yeah, let's make a test here. Maybe it's something about the copy location specifically. Yeah. It cannot be 100. Okay, so this is a clue. This is annoying. But okay, let's see if we have this. Oh, it's still problematic. So, because then we don't have centralization power. This is bad. But no, visually it seems to be correct. But no, there is a difference. So this is pretty annoying. 100. I didn't remember anything like that with copy transforms, so let's try copy transforms. So I'll need it's usually what, yeah, I don't usually use the copy location for that. So is it possible that the method I was using for proportional posing, it matters the order? This is not what I knew about, so let's do this, and also let's do this, and then okay, before regional, whatever. Then we, oh, maybe it's because this doesn't have before regional, this kind of stuff. Maybe it's, yeah, it could be something, because we see there's some, it's replace, right, while this doesn't replace. So let's just check this out. So currently it really seems that they are doing bad. So right, left, it's all the same, but they are not. It's clearly, yeah, it's clearly going to, oh, I need to, let's turn this off. Yeah, it's dying off. Is there a, so it replace doesn't help also. After original, before original, I don't know, that doesn't help. Split channel, that I never found it. Maybe there's a split channel. The bone is rotating some crazy way. So no. After regional, I never experienced anything of that kind with this system of, I thought it was seamless, but for this bone it is really causing problems, folks. Would be because of this that can't be used that way. It could be because I think I've never used that. So if I don't use this, it's only about rotations. Oh, maybe, hold on, what I'm talking about. Maybe the influence is the, one, or 1 and 1. Yeah, okay, you see it's wrong. Replace, we cannot, well, we still can. Before original doesn't work, and it's replace and replace seems, yeah, the rotation is makes no sense. And of course, if we invert, it will rotate the other way around. So copy transforms. Okay, it's, oh, I know, this is because I've changed, the rig is different on, slightly different on both sides. There are some changes, so this is why this is causing this. Even the length of this bone is different, so the target, yeah, it's because the rig is not completely symmetrical, so this is why this is happening. So actually this thing is working. It's just, let's see the rotations here, because I have the feeling that rotations can actually be good for the crotch mesh, for subtle transforms, so just not moving. It might be good for side bending. Yeah, maybe it's good, I think, except that, so I could separate, right? So I have copy location, copy rotation, so I could make the way I want, but this is simpler and more straightforward. So really we could have this and this. Wait, maybe not. If we had this, we'll need to have so let's say we got this, but then this means that we need a fixer, this one, to be much stronger. So map 2, this will go like 2, so they all go together, so maybe 8, 12. It's nearly fixed, so maybe this is too much already, so 13, no, 14. It could be a value in between, so now maybe it's too much, so let's just, in relation to that I've already done, so let's try, wait, 13. Okay, then I have to decide 13 and a half. Okay, we'll keep this value. So this certainly a bit complicated, but that kind of serves as a, and must remember that, oh, the rotation, yeah, the rotation is in place, and I'm not sure this is, yeah, it's a bit strange what's happening there on the crotch region, I mean. So maybe, yeah, this is something to retake later. The crotch for me is more experimental at this point, so clearly there should be better ways to do that, and maybe the rotation is not a good idea. But now that I've assessed that the problem is probably the fact that they are different, and I don't really like the idea to have this bound constraint, to have to solve this with a gigantic number. I think this is kind of stupid, right? So let's do instead the reducing of the influence, or because the idea, yeah, maybe it's smarter to do from here, because this is just the direction of the type actually, so it will follow the type from this position. Yeah, I think this is more accurate, but it's needs, like, it's following the tail of the type, except that it takes a lot more of, so this means we need to take off the influence. Let's see, a lot of influence, but here at least we don't have rotation, which can cause trouble. So we have this. Why I seem, no, there's no rotation. but the problems are nearly the same. What is happening there? It will be really good to separate analysis, right? Copy rotation then. So I'm not really satisfied here, but I think this should be the okay. And then what I was having here, something like 0. Influence, so it's very low influence, but now it's really odd. And of course maybe now this is because this value can be .5 maybe. Just compare with the rest position. That seems accurate, so I maybe just a little more, and there we go. So I think this, and whatever else motion we do here, we can correct in with perhaps wave painting, automating this bone. Yeah, this is the automation of this bone. It's special because it's in the middle, so it really depends on simultaneous on both legs, right? So in principle it's working, it's doing its job, so it's proportional posing, right? A little annoying to fix, but it kind of works. And then okay folks, what I need now is to verify, hold on, I need to verify, go back to our okay, new, then all the forms. So okay, so I have all this set here that already exists, so why don't I duplicate this thing from, right, try to I could build from scratch, right, but it's time consuming. Of course it might not be exactly in the place that I want. I would like to place it more here, but it's true that this is the critical part, is the joint. It's here, but it's also here. So okay, I'll do some, yeah, because all these orientations are based on that mesh, although I've changed that mesh slightly so they are out of date. At the same time, these represent the new, so take off from old, and so what I have here, new, take off from there, take off from there, take off from there. Yeah, all these old layers, it's all in new, but I'm gonna make a new I'm gonna make like, and stop confusing myself with, so this is the new fundamental. So new fundamental is those ones, so I don't have to shift M here, and take off from new. Isn't there armature? Move to bone collection and shift M, bone collections. Isn't it M an operator? Bone manager. Let's see, this goes to Why? How does that work? I didn't move it. So M is what does, okay, Shift M. What if I move to bone collection? Here I can move it totally, right? So let's see. Yes, it is the case. So now it is on only here. So I need a shortcut for that. Does Control M do anything? What is this? Shift M does that. Alt M. Okay, I don't know what is. And there's Shift Alt M. Okay, for now let's get it a. Maybe I erased the. It's Assign Alt M. So wait. Okay, why it doesn't appear here? Even though I've made the shortcut. This is certainly bugged. Okay, but it works. So let's bring it back to new fundamental. And this. Okay, so I don't need to be looking at those bones. Then helper. No. Deform. We're gonna bring this to. Actually, Alt M. To new, so this is new fans. Yeah, actually is fan, and not only fan but fan plus, yeah, mechanism fan, so fan plus the profile bendy bone splines. Okay, so this is a combination there. Profile. BBS is for me bendy bone spline. So, and here it's like yeah. It's crotch plus leverage, no, belly plus buttocks. That's it. All right. This is simple. Old is old. Single bendy bone spline. And this is old profile bendy bone spline. All right, and they are wrongly placed, right? So we're gonna, oh no, they aren't wrongly placed. That I've just duplicated, so must be very careful to not confuse even their names. Pelvis. The positioning here is questionable if that is the best way to do. So here I'm going to probably, so I have wave paint here, but I'm gonna redo it. Yeah, it's turned off. So this is already old. I could delete it, but no, I'm gonna just move it to single. Yeah, I need another old thing here, so excuse me, old. It's already old. This is the fan experiment. So we're gonna move this to, what have I done? No, didn't close. So move this, and this. No, this, and this. Alt M to old fan experiment. Okay, I could have created a bone layer from there. So there, okay, let's keep it close so it's we know that is the this. We move it back. This is all right. So sorry about all the confusion, folks. We are fixing those stuff. So here we need to, I'm gonna even change the colors here to not confuse with the old profile. Yeah, this is a smart move maybe. So let's get, wait, what is that? Oh, it got to both sides. So what is that? Sorry folks, I'm trying to organize this thing. So new profile, so this is what I'm working on, but I think this was lost. This is something that doesn't have any use. I think they are stacking bones there, yeah. No, there is... This is so confused, yeah, so I should look for the names. It looks like that they are stacking bones somewhere. No? Oh, there. They are stacking bones, so best thing would be run at this point, because I've messed up the organization here. I could just delete all this stuff, right? This backup, because they don't, the old one, right? Why would I use the old ones, right? I've just duplicated them for a new functionality, and there's no reason to go back on that, on the old ones, since I've learned what I've learned. And yeah, but they have bone constraints that are huge work, hard work. So now what to do. So I need to check the name. So here, okay, if I delete this, I don't know what happens. If I delete this, okay, these are survivors. These I create from scratch, so it doesn't matter. If I delete this, oh, okay, so I think we are stacking bones here indeed. Yeah, so there are just some extra bones, extra twig bones, and extra Shift Alt, and Shift Alt, an extra of this, and so this is not, it's not the case anymore here. This is just because there's too many bones on that place I've clicked. So yeah, so same here. Yeah, so just duplicates clones that are completely useless, I think. Accidentally done that, so we're gonna keep that, okay, but we're gonna change their colors so we don't get them by mistake. We are also gonna change their uh, bone size, so we also don't get all this by mistake. So gonna change their viewport here, so this will become like, yeah, old stuff with alt. This color, wait, I'm doing this, let's shift G, select by, no, it's not shift G, it's armature, no, select similar, yeah, select similar, so select similar color, and then this will give any, yeah, it doesn't matter the color here. We just want to not be confused with these bones. This color is not good. Again, shift G by color, let's give it this color. Yeah, it's terrible to look at, but at least we won't be confusing. I can see, yeah, that is fine. Let's, and I think this is the same color, so we're gonna give these some sort of mechanism. No, it's too close to, so yeah, horrible colors, but they are very distinct now. And even the, why I'm selecting all the bones if they are, if I could just symmetrize stuff, right? So let's also make this bigger, there we go. And also shift G color, also expand these things very crazily, so when you look at what the fuck is that, well, what the, it's just old stuff. Same here, but no, those are easier to find out. So I'm not using this because even if this can smooth out the joint in some sense, the problem is that it will critically take waves, change the ratios from the corrective fan bone or fan bones or fan profile bendy bone spline bones to be more exact. They and this would be an element of interference. So the question is that if this is it's the reason of being of this is smoothing out stuff, it should be done on very, very low waves, and at this point we end up with the problem that this is might not be very effective unless it takes a lot of, currently it would have a lot of weight, so we'll need a lot of offsetting, right, in order to get the effect is interesting. So I'm gonna keep this. Maybe this is good, but it requires very, very careful wave painting, so or I mean very low waves, otherwise it will really disrupt the other corrective methods, which are not about smoothing, just they really are countering stuff. So we have two old stuff, we could lock them. I think we can lock them because we don't want this stuff. We could lock all that too because, well, no, this is not for now. So let's go back, folks. Sorry for all this time, but it's very important to organize stuff. So you see, this is a mechanism bone, these are handle bones. We see that these got lost the target. Let's fix that. Oh, because these are the duplicate. Oh, I see what was that. Perhaps I have accidentally duplicate everything, and then I duplicate again. So here there's no. This is just different bones. So okay, there's no duplicates behind. This is just the. Okay, what I can do with this, this is the rest position, right? So we can have some play with some rolls here if I think that these are too ugly curves to start with. This is pose mode, not so let's do it again, but from and on here, yes, we can do that. That's not gonna affect anything. If I move though, I need to have a better solution. Wrong bone. The parenting is still the same, so they are parented to this, so nothing here is problematic. So we probably need to reset here, although I didn't change. Yeah, this might be old reset. Okay, I've lost what is happening here. This is okay, parent there, target here. Okay, so pose mode, let's target that, and this should target the next one. So this stretch 2 and target that. Okay, already, and reset. So alright, this seems to be though there's some. Okay, I know what's happening here. Oh, they got a lot of bone constraints. Let's clean this up. We're not using any of those. Yeah, I could use clean. Yeah, let's clean all the. It's Control-C for me, I think. It's the constraints, clear pose constraints, yeah. Clear bone constraints, right? So now it's clear. I should, from this condition, reset here. Reset. And because it is looping, well, it's just the bendy bone. So these are reset, 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 reset. Well, yeah, I've just reset it once. It's not something that posing will affect. So no matter the pose here, if I reset, it's reset. So we need to target the mechanism bone, right? So in principle, if I do this, actually on this is the accurate motion. Of course, we lost the, yeah, so we're gonna give these deform properties, and this is a problem. I didn't want these bones to be rotating. I wish they would be aligned with, but not so fast, maybe, because if they aren't aligned, the twig bones, it's really like just extra junk, right? So it's complete. I have, yeah, and perhaps I can solve bone constraint with another solution. So maybe I think in this case I think this is excessive. We can always, it's not easy, not difficult to build, so why I can't delete this bone? Okay, just deleted. So we get this. So we parent this to here. Yes, they were parented by consequence of the deletion of their intermediate, which was the twig bone, the twig bones. And so if I happen to pick that, okay, that's perfect. So now, of course, we are having artifact, generated artifact, because we don't have the fan bone deformed derotating property. So if I check here, okay, this is something that, because you're building another system, I'm gonna build these bone constraints, but on a localized, yeah, on a region per region aspect. So I really have control over these. So technically, all these transformation bone constraints are useless now. Although I could still reuse some of their data, but no, let's rebuild from scratch. At this point, I need a break. I'm start to get. I didn't have a lunch today, so I start to get nervous, anxious. This is because probably lack of glycose and stuff like that. And this is mind work, so it takes a lot of energy. So I'm gonna fix that and then come back soon. But I need to at least start the. My hands are my fingers are trembling. But we'll continue here, folks. No problem. So just a little more. So start now to address the wave painting of this area. Why am I suffering with that if I can? Okay, so this is the wave as reference. I'm not gonna delete it because this is non-affecting waves on the calculations, because this is no more a deformed bone. So the wave, even though it has a on the vertex groups, even though it exists as a vertex group, it's wave painted vertex group, directly related to the bone. It doesn't affect the ratios. It's not affecting any ratios. So this is good way to work, to manage our work. So it's not affecting what we have. So this is good. And so if I have here, so we can build up the, yeah. So let's use now very more precise waves. I'll go until that point, but this will be very low in waves. And so we also need the joint here. Maybe we don't need that. We probably need that. We're going to pick some of these waves here from the buttocks. That part, yeah, okay, another loop here, and we can take that, yeah, but it will be very low waves. All right, the problem is that if both sides, they're gonna take waves symmetrically from this, so maybe this is not a so clever idea. So let's skip this, and I think we can take this off. So this is a very should we take more for smoothing out? I don't know, the shape of the buttocks here is taking another direction already from these vertices, so we can try, right, to do this, just this. This vertex is probably good, but on lower waves we're gonna check. And so okay, and then what we can do is yeah, I have this selection. Let's save this selection just for a moment. I'm gonna call it save fan pelvis, yeah, assign. So this is just a selection at 100, doesn't matter. On wave painting, doesn't matter, it's just the selection for our real mesh, not the mirrored mesh. Well, maybe we should keep it at left side, right? Then, but we don't have a, yeah, I don't think, I cannot paint the other side, so it doesn't matter. It's just a selection. And I'm going to, let's see, okay, now that I don't want too many interference here, so I'm gonna hide that, then L selected linked normal. This will cause some, there are limitations here. Yeah, there are indeed some things that, what are these? Bones. Okay, so I need to hide this, and the rest doesn't matter, so not for now, yeah. So here, let's save. My mesh is hidden on, so this means that when I go on wave paint mode, here I have a very precise area to wave paint. So this will be the wave paint of the mask, so it's not what we need. We need to select, so before I mask, I select the bone. So I'll start from the middle, it's the hardest one. Oh, I've lost the select, okay, no problem. We go back there. Usually this I put on the top, but it takes a lot of time. There's a easier way. I can, so we're gonna give this something like that. Usually I call that sort by name. Usually I, oh, it's before the, yeah, it's hide. Yeah, so 0 fan bone, because I'm using it, so sort by name. There we go. So it's here. We can lock it because we, for now, we don't want to accidentally wave paint the wrong thing, but minimum detail. Not that we care if we wave paint that thing. So it's just, so as I go here, I select it, and we can select, okay, then we go on wave paint mode here, mixed pose wave paint mode, and then we can now unselect, now select the bone that has no wave paint, but it's already a deformed bone, I think. We'll see as we wave paint this thing. We're gonna add maybe you should even use this one. So we're gonna add waves here, very strong waves for this inner part. This will be already the, yeah, we are reaching then the yeah, here it's already on the interface of the other spline, so stop by there. And here, let me check, here would be better the front bending. We are getting, we are already past the, yeah, but it's more or less this one, right? So we can keep that. Then for, that was one of the most difficult parts, right? So now we can blur from, yeah, so we don't touch that, but we blur. Maybe blur here too. It might be okay to have those waves because all of them are rotating the same way, so it's not too bad to have these shared blended waves. It will work. Because they are not taking waves from other things. So here I think we should do that. Let's see. Here maybe I need yeah, so here too. So I'm making this very a bit too analytical, right? It can be more artistic, but I'm trying to make something that will have even more there. So I'm not sure here if I extrapolate it. So this is good, this is good. Here we want more. Here, yeah, maybe just like that. I think we can reach some waves here. No, I think it's too far. It's not necessary. Then here we blur more. Here in that the crotch, maybe here is for side bending. Here we want more, yes. Here too. Here's the end, but we can have some waves, more waves, and here, yeah, this part. And then here, all right. So that will be the beginning, right, folks? So this is the first one, and let's see. Yeah, the mesh was moving, so we don't have the rest, but we'll have soon. I'll be back, I hope. And then what we are having here is the, yeah, it's a deformed bone. So that inner part, now it is following this bone. So what would be causing artifact? It is the causing artifact, because it's the principle of the suppression of the rotation, but it's not perfect yet. It's maybe not as good as the original that we have. Maybe I'm missing something, but now there is an advantage because it's the same bone. They are stacking functionality, and it's of course it's just one region. Because it's already rotating the whole block, it's already taking rotation from let's say a local perspective or global perspective. So I don't have to care about solving that rotation. It's already rotating. So this means that since these bones have the bendy bones are wave paint, I can, on top of the corrective rotation, derotation that is happening because of let's see the deform, where it is here. Okay, so you see they are following not the type, they are following this, and this is following the type, but on this amount of derotation. And so they are following the rotation. The bendy bones are rotation, which are deform bones. So they are covering the derotation for whatever their mesh will, their wave paint will be. They would be suppressing the deforms, the artifacts deforms particularly. But we need more. For example, this one doesn't have waves yet. I think only, no. Which one? What did I wave paint already? So I think it was, no, wait, hold on. Yeah, I've wave painted this, no, the top one. No, it's not exactly the top one. This is also the top one, and there's a lot of volume loss on here too. Yeah, so you see waves are weak here. So that inner part should be doing good already, and on top of that I have control, and note that these controls, these transforms that I can do on the bendy bone splines, they are being done on top of the fan bone corrective position. So I'm not risking, as I was before, of taking waves from this, because there's no waves here that are, this is not a deformed bone. They are the deformed bone, and they are already doing the corrective themselves by default now. But if I give them additional transforms that I can automate, they will, you got the idea, they will stack the transforms. Well, I'm not regressing, that's the case. I can, sure, make some horrible pose here, but this pose won't interfere. They will be really artistical building up on the mesh, because the whole set here is already doing what a fan bone, simple fan bone can do. So this will be like fan bones, but bendy bone spline. It's not simply fan bones. They would be, I'm not sure, but they are even more than that. They are more in the sense that they are also profile bendy bone splines that are working as fan bones, as micro fan bones, right? So instead of having a star microsystem here that would look like a fan structure that would probably follow this rotation, they are like this circular stuff there. So bendy bone splines, profile bendy bone splines, fan bones. So you could call that these are, maybe to simplify, fanny bones, which was another name that I've seen from them. So the profile bendy bone, fanny is not very a good word, I think. It has other sense, but fanny profile bendy bone splines, fanny bones, and the fan bone, which is the mechanism. So folks, that's it for now. I think this is finally working. I'm very satisfied about this incredible finding. So remember, on top of additional, simultaneously to that, we have a buttocks leverage system. We have a belly leverage system for other parts of the mesh, and a crotch bone system. So this is like advanced rigging for an advanced, so a very challenging rig, and I think this is this is likely the best solution. It's not finished, right, but I think this, by the logics, that the rationality that I've been trying to explain in words and showing here, I think this is the most, yeah, at least for myself, the most accurate rigging technique for a complex joint that I've ever done myself. Whatever this is there is a very deep analytical system, the fan bone system, right? Maybe it's not the original one, yeah, there are some variations, but I think the concept is the same. The base fundamental is the same, and by using this, so I'm mostly secure we can do everything we need for a elegant solution for this thing. And then at this point, the only thing for this rig that I mean for the legs for this that I will need to really revise is the problematics involving the rest position, which is that. So I would need to see how I adapt this to the T-pose of the character design. But this is my problem, my own problem. So, but regarding the rig, this is, yeah, I think this is revolutionary. But this kind of stuff, again, I'm gonna repeat, exists since 2005. I've seen some video about fan bone online, just in case you are here. No, in case anyone watches here, there is something here. Fan bone, someone, yeah, there's some discussion of fan bones in Blender artists, and there are some here. So there's a tutorial here, very long presentation, but at this point, nearly 1 hour of video, there's this subtitles, yeah, this separated parts, fan bone. So here there is a basic explanation of the demonstration. It's not in Blender's CAD, and there is but I think this is the simplest version. So it's just for a simple joint, it might be enough. It doesn't really show on a very organic model, so it's not very good, but example, but it's at least there is someone talking about this on YouTube. So, and this is a video from 2022, so the technique I'm talking about, the fan bones, is from 2005 actually. So it's like nearly 2 decades ago. And so is there any name for, maybe this guy knows this technique, because everything else here I'm not familiar with, and because it's on another software. So, but there is there content about fan bone, fan joint, but it doesn't go too far. So experience through Joy Herman. So maybe this guy knows that because he maybe knew the work of, or of that teacher, professor, that I've just forgot the name, Sean something, Freeman, Sean Freeman, yeah, as animator professor. And so yeah, that guy professed, but I have no idea why his message, his technique didn't spread, because it seems really powerful. I've been rigging for, yeah, I'm gonna finish. I've been rigging for about 2 years now, maybe a little more, slightly more, and organic rigging in Blender only, and I don't have past experience with 3D rigging, so really it's very challenging without professional orientation, right? but here I've managed to get it. It's not my original creation, but part of this is my creation because I'm building this stuff, right? But yeah, fan bones, lots of, yeah, in the end, like, no one creates like God or God is everything. Like we build, as I should say, we exist on the top of the shoulders of giants, right? So even if not giants, what it means is that there's all the history or historicity of ideas, right? This is very interesting. So we don't become too egocentric. So this is really not all my many things here are just, even this profile bendy bone splines, this concept of being profile of the shapes of the body, I've just discovered. First I saw some Pixar video about that, curve net, profile curves. Check that on YouTube, you'll find from Pixar some guys explain. But you check that, well, this doesn't make much sense to someone that, even someone that has experience, maybe that doesn't make too much sense. And finally, when I was doing some lives, someone commented, oh, this is you can make a profile there. And the nose, wait, profile, bendy bone spline, wait, curve net, this is a profile because, you know, you draw a profile. Where's my annotation? Why is it not working? Oh, my annotation is turned. It just didn't click for me. So I think no, I'm not. So it will be like, no. So not working. What's that? I need another maybe. Okay, finally. So okay, this is a profile. So on a orthogonal view, right? Perfect profile. But then you can do that with bendy bone spline. But then also you can have a profile that is not, right, like this one. It's 3D profile on from all directions. So it's a 3D profile. So I didn't realize that. I watched all that. Why do you call this profile curve? I don't see. I didn't connect. And from then I've decided to reproduce those profile curves, not on net exactly, not in like a cage mesh on over all the body. I don't really understand this. How? Yeah, I kind of understand the purpose, but it's very time consuming. Sometimes it's better just to have these on very specific points, and they don't solve the artifacts. What solves the artifacts is stuff like that. We can try to solve artifacts, but then they get so messed up because we try to fix the mesh that is suffering the artifacts that they lose their main purpose as profiles, artistic profiles that really have power, that don't offset very much and all that. So this is something for the future, but for now that's it, folks. Thanks for watching. I'm not sure today I'll be able to go back, but I really would like to continue this. Anyways, this week sometime I'll be back and we're gonna complete this and see how good or how bad it is. I think it's already very good, and I didn't even finish stuff. Let's see how the back bending. Yeah, because of thanks to the buttocks leverage, this is already having some good effect, but it's not sufficient for me. I want to complete that, and that's it, folks. Thanks for watching, take care, and happy blending. See ya, folks.